We like to tell people you can have it all, and you can have it all, but it's ebbs and flows, right? So one thing we had to learn early on was, while somebody's career is kind of striving, the other person kind of has to throttle back a bit. And I think that's one of the big things, because it won't work if we're both trying to get ahead and get the next promotion or move to the next rank or do a job that's really cool, that takes a lot of time. The other person can't be on that same bus necessarily. So, we always talk about, like, what's the next move for your career and what's the next move for my career? How can one person excel and one person throttle back so that we can maintain the family life balance? So I think that was a hard lesson to learn in the beginning, because we, early on in our careers, and we were both all in all the time. And that, we found ways around it to deal with our family care plan, but it was trying.
I remember somebody, when we got married, told us that marriage is about compromise, and I would disagree. I think marriage is about communication, and I think you can truly have what you want, maybe just not immediately. And so if you're communicating effectively, then you both know what your desires are. And I still see people today that, they maybe want one thing, but they're saying another, or they're not maybe 100% clear with what they want. And I think we've grown, and it's taken a long time to get that clear line of communication where, sometimes you're going to hurt the other person's feelings, but you're doing it so that for the greater good, that, that there's no question about what we're trying to, achieve. And I think then that would roll into, expectation management, that, you have to be very careful about, just because you think it's going to be good or you want it to be good isn't mean it's going to be good. And that can be anything from, how we parent the children every day to, how you think your spouse is going to come home at the end of the day, or maybe after an exercise. So it's, I think having that communication, removing that compromise, and then, managing your expectations, generally have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah, I think that's super important, because, as a spouse in the beginning that was at home all the time, and even as a service spouse when our careers were on different paths, I was at 2 service battalion, he was in CANSOFCOM, I expected his career to be similar to mine, in that, you work 9 to 4, and 2 times a year you go to the field for 2 weeks, and that's kind of how life was. But that is not. So my expectations of what he was going to do was very, very off point, and it did cause a lot of animosity in the beginning. So I find, managing your expectations, and like you said, coming home from deployments or coming out of the field, what my experience was and what his experience and the outcome of that is very different. So learning to manage the expectations makes a big deal.
Yeah.